Yeah, there it is.
Okay, there it is, DK. I mean, that says to me his hero pool is obviously pretty small at the draft scope. I'm like, okay, well, that's Invoker, that's Timber, and there's one DK in here somewhere, or at least two of them, and then they just pick it. Makes me like, the pool's a bit shallow, but let's see if it works, nonetheless.
It should be.
So, what do you think about the formality of DK?
It should be really hard to kill him. That's the one thing. Because Bounty Hunter excels in being able to, like, he pressured mid last game by just auto-attacking an Invoker, which is a hero who naturally doesn't have a lot of defense, especially Exort. So, if you're going to freaking attack a DK, he's going to have 1,000,000 armor, 1,000,000 regen. You're going to need 3 heroes minimum to kill him if he's like level 3 or 4. So I think that maybe the Bounty Hunter has a little bit of a harder time doing stuff, but I thought he was going to struggle in game 2. So if Q manages to pull out the kind of early game he had before, it's going to be a bit rough. But OG this time, I think, have a rounded draft, and they don't have to play into that Tidehunter with a solo melee core. That was awful.
Yeah.
Like, that actually ended up being so bad.
Definitely was. Looks like we'll get underway, folks. It's our final game here, game number 3 of this Heat number 1 day 2 group stage action for the Boston Major. And if we're talking early game, though, and wanting to have Q succeed, I mean, early game, I'm watching Jerix, and I'm sure he's got to feel a little bit happy. Of all the potential mid laners you want to be ganking as an Earth Spirit, Invoker's a nice option to have. He doesn't have any sort of easy escape mechanism, and Jerix will be able to easily, if he can, the big thing is you got to be able to connect with the Rolling Boulder, but if you connect with that, it should lead to some strong success. So either the Invoker's going to have to be on edge, or yeah, Q's going to have to be hanging around, someone's going to have to be hanging around Rubik or something, just to make sure that the pressure's not going to be totally on.
I think that's the one big difference, actually, between the Invoker and the Tinker mid, and why they probably went with Invoker is Cold Snap under tower can still get counter kills. That's the one thing.
True.
So sometimes, you know, yeah, Laser Rocket Tinker can deal some big damage, but he doesn't offer any control, whereas Cold Snap, at the very least, should be able to secure a kill if OG overcommit. I think that's the one big difference. Also, Ice Wall, that's an ability. That ability is real good against melee heroes.
For a long time was quite the underrated ability too. So definitely seeing a lot of airtime now from Invokers and showing why it's very justified. And with dives like Earth Spirit makes under towers and stuff, it could be a good opportunity to, as mentioned, spit out a Cold Snap or Ice Wall and get some return fire themselves. Jerix has also been known to do a bit of those mid lane pull shenanigans that you can do with the creep camps. It doesn't, I don't know, it looks like he may be doing it this time too. I'm not sure. He's hanging around that area. He could be just looking to set up a roll early on, but we will have to keep an eye out to see if he tries to manipulate the mid lane creep waves at all.
I think it's, if you can do it, it's always valuable, but he is the roaming hero on the team, and he needs to make sure that he's not letting like somebody free farm the woods right now, which, you know, in July, he started Iron Talon, he's just jungling straight up, so realizing that, you know, they don't see the Beastmaster on the map, and Q is just sitting bottom, he decides that the best use of his time is to make sure that Beastmaster does not farm, because he farms the jungle with the best of them.
Lots of consumables though for Jerix here. You know, ideally when you're in a roaming Earth Spirit kind of a game, you'd love to have at least like an Orb of Venom, maybe Boots of Travel or something. Jerix will have to roll out from here or not. I mean, I was gonna say roll out from here, but you gotta be careful not to get body blocked. And in a position like that, I wouldn't trust Dota entirely. It could count like a Beastmaster to the side of you as in front of you, so he just goes for the safer option, TP's away. But he's there to just be an annoyance.
Yeah, I'm not okay with the frog pathing sometimes.
Yeah,
I'll stop playing. S4.
Yeah, he's eating a Blade Fury and a couple of right clicks here from Burning, but not enough to get the finish yet. S4 creeps all the way up through the trees and then will make the safe play and TP's back home. But ever under a bit of heavy harassment already. Him and Ana Sunstrike, like a good move forward. He must have saw Sakata looking to go for the cast and was able to adjust.
He's doing all right. I guess he's got his bottle now. He still has the extra salve on him. The DK versus Invoker matchup is actually not so bad for DK, because you can pretty much tank creeps under the tower forever. And a lot of the time, you know, the Invoker, he's going to want to try to push the lane in a bit, just so he's not like under as much pressure of being ganked by like the Earth Spirit, for example. So yeah, it should be all right, I think, for both teams in the laning phase. My big curiosity is giving the early 6 to the Bounty Hunter. Like, how much is this going to do? Because right now, OG, they can't really
there
stop.
It is. Roll in the mid lane. Sakata gets kicked back. They need a few more right clicks here to get it done. And it looks like they may not be able to unless breathe fire in 4 seconds or one more boulder smash. Rolling boulder. He's not able to sidestep it, and they'll get it done. Woo! Caused a little bit of a commitment. No rotations will come out for assistance. A bit too precious in the laning stage right now, but they'll get their kill. And, you know, not to keep harping on Earth Spirit, but he's one of the few heroes I feel like I'm okay talking about. It's like one of those things Jerix is comfortable doing is he rolled in with Rolling Boulder, and then instead of just kicking a stone to stun him right there in his spot, he feels comfortable enough to line up the kick and just kick him straight back, you know, towards the Radiant Tower. And that will get them a few more auto attacks in for sure. So could have made the difference, could have not, but nonetheless, they get their kill.
Yeah, he's min-maxing for sure. And in the meantime, Q also died in the bottom lane, so it wasn't just one kill for OG there, it was 2 in quick succession. Looks like we're going to be seeing a return to the middle lane here from Jerix. He's almost level 3, going to be helping out with the bottle as well. I guess the big thing, again, is just in July free farming the woods. Like, he's going to hit 6 very, very quickly. That's going to be a huge thing for them. So Jerix is kind of heavily pressured in this scenario, right? He needs to do a lot. He needs to stop the Beastmaster from farming and or kill mid, both at the same time. And that's not an easy thing to do.
It's not. Beastmaster is one of the best junglers in the game, really. And any moment that you're kind of deterred and going off and making a gank happen, he's going to quickly skyrocket 2 or 3 levels. And now you feel incredibly irrelevant next to him. And can't really offer a whole lot, especially with boars are out. So Jerix will need to kind of avoid that front, and he's just trying instead to leech some XP where possible. He actually rolls right on past in July here, and Fly with a haste room just wildly shows up. He times out the boulder smash, and they will be able to secure the kill. A takedown on the Beastmaster, very nice, but look who looks to come in from the front. Sakata with the cold snap. Q is nearby. Q makes his commitment. Jerix, though, has the roll and will be able to make it to the low ground and out from trouble.
Yeah, very nicely done there. Fortuitous haster, and I don't think they get that kill without it. It was very lucky.
You know, S4's on their team. So.
Yeah, dude, the haste runes. The dream. Yeah, that is actually kind of a huge bummer for July. It does force a bit of a rotation now from the bounty, though.
Okay. Pull up and over. Smash will hit him. Slows him down a bit. Ana, again, will be able to sidestep that Sunstrike. Very nice. And, I mean, that's what you get when you play a lot of Invoker yourself. But yeah, Salve will be wasted. He's got Dragon's Blood.
That's also
a salve. That's a salve. And he'll just heal on up. But good start for OG, 3-0, and Fly will take his business all the way back to that bottom lane. And also in July came to that bottom lane. He came for that moment, but now back to the jungle he goes. Got to get that level 6. Got to get that Primal Roar.
And it's gonna have it. I would say what, 2 more camps, something like that. Yeah, he should have it very soon. I guess you probably just want to go safe lane and try to kill either No Tail or Fly. There is an Eclipse, but I think between the Bounty Hunter Shuriken and a well-placed Roar, they should be able to get that kill.
Oh, not looking to make any commitments yet at this moment. Q gets back into the lane here and sports his own level 5. No Tail has Eclipse up now, obviously no mana, or at least didn't have mana at that moment. Will not pull the trigger, obviously, on any sort of precious little bounty hunter. While up and over and beyond, towards this mid lane, we have a gank involving S4 now, as him and Jerix both smoke up, waiting to see who can show themselves in this mid lane. Invoker around, but he had been moving into the jungle to find the farm there. Burning shows himself behind the tower. Fly immediately goes for the strike. The disruption leads to an easy rolling boulder, which leads to the kill. No Tail also getting involved in this one. It looks like we could see a 5-man movement here. A follow-up on his Sakata with the help of the Eclipse. One more nuke will do it, and it's a double kill for No Tail. Huge success already in the early laning stage. Back in mid lane, they're trying to get the jump on for Ana. They will get that kill. And as the Omni Slash comes out, they'll wait for his return. Paparazzi going to be bullied down. iG.V continue to crumble a little bit here as they lose, what, 4 all day? Something like that, 3 or 4?
Yeah, I think it was 4 at the end. But Yeah, they commit to Omni Slash. I mean, sure, they get the kill on the DK, but I don't think it's worth losing Paparazzi so early on, especially since no one is really contesting him. It's really nice to be able to get to just one item on Juggernaut and then start contributing to fights, but I guess they're feeling the pressure because, you know, Sakata's freaking level 5 and Anna's level 7. So they've been doing a very good job at stopping this middle lane from doing anything. I feel like, honestly, Invoker has been not great this whole series. Like every single game I see in Invoker, he's just getting like crushed in lane, and he's requiring way too much assistance from his teammates to be able to function.
Yeah, I mean, we could give part of that credit to just the early aggression of OG. I mean, Earth Spirit being in the game and just missing off the map will definitely make you hesitant in that mid lane a bit, and especially when the kills start coming, then you really start to be hesitant and second guessing, and then you just look flat out elsewhere for options and farm, and that's when you really start to get behind. Fly able to do some good work, takes out a nice ward. IG had tried to plant a bit on the offensive side to give him a little bit more intel. That will be taken away. But it's level 6 time here. We got Track online now. We got Primal Roar online now. This should be a big power peak for iG.V to make some kills happen and bring in some track money and try to even this game back up. We'll have to see if they can do it here. Scan does come out there from OG, but it's only towards the mid lane. But no action in it yet.
I think iG.V they're okay with not finding kills right away, but at some point they want to really try to abuse track to get themselves back in it. They know that Eclipse has been down for a little while.
God, Bernie's running. Can't get close enough for the telekinesis though.
Even with track speed, Luna's fast, you know? He's got that cat, man. But yeah, it would have been nice if they could have gotten the kill. The problem is with Fly standing behind No Tail all the time, is that your Roar Sunstrike combo is pretty much never going to land unless you wait for the disruption, I guess. You could try to like next level it and see if you can hit it that way. But I mean, being able to pressure the tier 1 and potentially get the tower with the help of Paparazzi or TP'd bottom should be enough. They're going to eventually just go for the tier 1 for tier 1 trade.
The classic, as we see in Dota 2.
No one defends their safe lane towers, man. They freaking hate their safe lanes. Let that thing die.
They're like, you know what? It's gonna happen eventually. Just take it, but promise me that I can take yours too. Is that cool? Okay, great. And it's just been a mutual agreement ever since. But this opens up the jungle for both teams. I would give the advantage to OG. They actually already have had some pretty deep wards here planted in the IG jungle. So now with this tower going down, pretty much the top lane is open to them to be able to kind of take the farm or at least scavenge through. And with the way they're drawing on the map, that could be something they look to go for here. But actually, Jarek's all the way to the bottom lane. This comes after iG.V take their own tier 1 in the bottom. They're still pushing forward here. I mean, you got Beastmaster, so you got to feel pretty good that you can push pretty fast. Let's see if OG can come back to respawn, though.
I think they want Jarek to level 6 before they fight. Like, fighting in the healing ward without magnetize or anything to like equalize that amount of damage that's being healed up, it's really difficult. So he's trying to just pull the creep wave off the tower, buy time. The tower will probably eventually drop, considering they haven't TP'd too much back. Okay, there's one more. Looks like No Tail's TP and S4 walking in will be enough to scare the rest of iG.V off, but yeah, they really need 6 on this Earth Spirit. I think the Tome, did he just buy it? I think it's going back to base for the Tome. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
So when he hits 6, they might go for a smoke or something and try to fight around the Eclipse and the Magnetize together. That's a really strong power spike. The next one is obviously S4 getting the blink.
Yeah. And then there's that level 6. Magnetize online. And a good time to fight if you are OG, but same big ultimate's also available on the side of IG for this one here, so we'll just have to wait to see what is going to be the trigger point. S4 flexing some muscles here in the mid lane as he dishes out the amp damage. Not a friend of Bounty Hunter, but Bounty Hunter is going to be able to complete out what looks like his arcane boost, so he'll grab that up. So now the track is really costs nothing at all, and you should be able to continually get out that bit of intel across the team and that opportunity to bring in the money. Paparazzi farming through some ancient camps. Already has a Blade of Alacrity here. Any particular build you'd like to see coming out for the Jug in this particular game? Is this a trusty build into a Yasha for the farm? I think it was it last game we saw the Jug go Diffusal first.
It'll be this. I thought it was going to be the same, but he actually is going for the Yasha. I was going to say, Diffusal's pretty good against their team. Gets rid of the silence from the Earth Spirit, gets rid of the amplified damage as well.
Too. Yeah. But Yeah, opting for the move speed, farm speed this go around. Now they smoked up, they head all the way to the bottom lane. Ana is nearby. Q is able to scout him out, but that game sense is he is waiting way back behind the tower. Very hesitant to show himself in the lane as iG.Vitality confidently moves on forward. OG, I don't know, looks to be sacking this tier 2 altogether. Happy to kind of just play the farm game for now.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I mean, if you're going for the Yasha build on Paparazzi, you do kind of want to farm a bit more. Yasha is great for mobility inside of team fights, but first and foremost, it is a great farming item. The mobility, get from camp to camp faster, you get that attack speed, the damage. I kind of assume he's going to go the Math to Diffusal build this game, because it's just really freaking good, and having multiple ways of dispelling yourself against OG is great.
Yeah,
but I think that farming is like... So you're farming until the starter gets a Blink Dagger, and then once the starter has a Blink Dagger, you're relying on mainly your vision control to stop that hero from being able to get anything done. They are going to go for a very early Roshan. They got the book 1. I don't think that OG... they are going to smoke. Maybe they are privy to this.
Yeah, they just got the armlet, and maybe that was it. They were like, okay, armlet, let's go. So, we'll see what kind of setup they have. All the ultimates are up now.
No, it's already dead. Like, it's actually just dead.
Oh, Sean. Okay, well, there's that. Alacrity and company with Beastmaster really makes it no work at all. OG, though, still heading that way, looking to see if they can catch anyone on the way up. It's iG.Vitality heading towards the top of the staircase, but they'll just take out the ward just as fast as it was planted, and knowing they want to chase iG.Vitality any further, because easily at risk of jumping into an iG.V trap. So separation as they go, and iG.V will claim the Aegis. Is this a farming Aegis, you think, on their side, or is it, you know, waited out a bit, last 2 minutes? Let's try to finish out the tier 2s mid or top, mid and or top.
I mean, I think that they do want to fight. I don't think that delaying the game is necessarily going to be great for them. Like, DK scales alright, you know, Luna scales phenomenally. You have the Shadow Demon illusions to deal with during a late game. You don't have the best wave clear either. Oh god, that Beastmaster. Just ate a freaking solo clips to the face, manages to walk away. But yeah, I do think the iG.V want to fight.
Oh, they want to make something happen here on the bottom. No-Tail was able to TP away, but Fly is spotted and now gets hit with the slow. The track move speed is there. No, Sunstrike will get the last finish. Sakata picks that one up, and track money in the pocket for them. Ooh, swinging a miss on the stun, but connecting with the silence. Q has to run. Jerix has 3 stones to refresh this ulti. Should be able to do it. Oh, this is the boulder smash. One more stone, though. That should be the kill. And they'll keep following to get the XP. So at least a 2-for-1 trade at the end of the day for OG.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, Earth Spirit, man. Still a pretty good hero, turns out.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Magnetize is good if you're able to, you know, if you have plenty of stones and you can extend its duration. It's ridiculous, but anything can take it off now. It's too early in the game to have anything to take it off, but, you know, Yules, Lotus Orb, Diffusal. Later game is when Magnetize feels kind of like a tickle aura, I guess.
It does fall off very quickly, but I mean, he's more or less done his job already. Like, having the early game rotations, being successful, creating space, like, now anything else he gets done is just icing on the cake. The rest of the heroes on his team are starting to come online. We see the Blink Dagger for S4 now. They're not so reliant on him having that crazy influence, which, you know, a couple of well-placed boulder smashes in a fight is still good. You know, a well-placed silence.
The utility's there, but the next time he gets to have fun in a game like this is not.
We're talking about next game.
And you get like, you get Agnum Scepter. That's when you have fun on an Earth Spirit.
Okay, true.
You can get Blink Dagger, Agnum Scepter, and Jerix is one of the players that would do that. To jump in the base, stone someone, kick them out from the base, and now you're away from your team and your family and everything you love. Yeah, that's when things get fun. But rarely nowadays you'll get to a late enough game to see stuff like that. But who knows? It's Dota after all. 8-2 now. It's still advantage for OG as we approach the 16-minute mark. And iG.V still with that Aegis in the pocket of Paparazzi here. Looking to utilize its strength to kind of at least get some more money in the pocket. Tier 1 top lane's got to go, and there will be no defense from OG to stop him.
That makes sense. You don't want to fight into this. You really want Paparazzi's Aegis to disappear before you even try to go for a fight. The other thing, too, is they commit a Dragon Farm. So unless OG are TPing back like immediately, okay, they already do have a couple of people there. Looks like No Tail's going to be in front. But yeah, they need to be very careful because he pops the DD as well. He might be
rotations
dead.
from both sides here. Ana caught up in arms now with Paparazzi, but then S4 makes his own jump in. Beautiful set of stuns comes out. Jarex commits the magnetize, but they already had died, so it's not going to catch on to anyone there, and he'll just eat the Omni Slash to get shredded apart. And over on the other side, they were able to take down the Invoker, so it turns into a 2-for-2 trade at the end of the day. We'll look at the fight recap to get all the full numbers there, but it looks like an advantage slightly for iG.V, probably due to the track money.
Yeah, it's all track hold. It's the whole reason. Because it's pretty much the same, well, not the same positions, but relatively equal in regards to what heroes died, because it's a mid for a mid and then an off lane for a support. So sure, the Beastmaster in July has a bit of inflated net worth versus the Earth Spirit, but that doesn't matter because track's an ability. So I think iG.V are still going to be alright with that whole exchange. They did pop a DD and commit a Dragon Form to the push as well. And they did manage to utilize the Aegis. Paparazzi actually got it popped off before he before it faded, so all things considered, I think that the iG got what they wanted out of that.
And now they can comfortably move back and get back into work with the farm here. Manta now done on Paparazzi, and still holds that one blade of Alacrity, so we foresee that becoming a diffusal, I'd imagine. And then his damage begins to really ramp up here. I also saw another item pickup. I believe it was the Blink Dagger. Yeah, Blink Dagger on to Ana for his DK. So Blink and Armlet now. You get that insta-lockdown, insta-stun initiation. Pretty damn viable tool here. We'll have to see if OG wants to put it to work right away or not. But nonetheless, does add a lot to Dragon Knight's mobility.
Yeah, it's great for when you're pushing, because if, you know, a lot of times people will rotate one or two heroes back that have been a tower, similar to what OG did when iG.V were pushing his 5. And when you have the Blink DK, those first few heroes that rotate in, if they're out of position, you just blink in and get the donk, you get the Dragon Tail, and they're just dead. And most of the time, the enemy team won't be fast enough if they haven't already started TPing.
Smoke movement here from iG.V as they head right towards the top part of this mid lane, and Arcane Rune is going to get snagged up. Oh, and then they roll on in. Huge boulder smash on the 3, a roll in 2, and with the jumping from Ana, they look to shred them apart. Magnetize also going to get big connection on that one. Paparazzi to go down, and they already hit up Q with that Magnetize. That could connect and reset the cooldown, and it will. He's going to be set to burn apart, and it's quickly a 4-man takedown from OG just like that. S4 getting the double kill there at the end, but my goodness, OG have opened it up. They saw... How did they see that movement going up into the Ancient camp right there to kind of set the whole thing up?
The smoke broke because there was a defensive disruption on the Luna, but it still counts as your hero existing there. So they saw burning straight away. And because they saw burning and they had high ground vision, because for whatever reason, defensive disruption doesn't take away vision, they saw it, and he just got a boulder smash on 2 heroes. Ana instantly blinks in, Dragon Tails another, and then they're just dead. Like, that's it. The fight's already over at that point. You can't recover from that bad of an initiation.
Choke point fighting is something that OG's lineup just really thrives on. Multi-man crushes, multi-man boulder smashes with grip, follow-ups. It's 3-man stun, 3-man silence, magnetize on top of it, Eclipse, like... Yeah, I mean, iG obviously went into that thinking that they were going to be under the shadow, but unfortunately for them, spotted out leads to that kind of destruction. And now we see OG, even though the kill score, you know, if you're newer to Dota and you're looking at the kill score up and above and you're seeing 14-4 and you're thinking this is a lopsided game, this is just OG taking the net worth advantage back, and this puts them at about a 3K net worth advantage. So they're back in the game right now. I wouldn't say they're like way up and above and beyond. It's still anyone's game, but that is definitely the fight OG had needed to really, you know, make sure they still establish their own dominance.
Yeah, I was extremely fortunate, because at first I thought that the disruption was going to end up getting No Tail killed, because if there was no there's no defensive disruption, then you just get roared and die instantly. There's no save. But due to the smoke breaking and Jarex with a quick reaction along with Ana, they were able to turn it.
And now at mid lane here, pressure continues from iG.V as they hope to get the finish, but it's continued disruption and Lunas and pushing out It ain't gonna be easy. Double back into what looks like a smoke setup. Someone's got a smoke, right? Oh, it's in the stash of Jarrett's, but nope. Okay, they do have one on hand. And now they're going on in. Smoked and popped. Q's nearby. S4 doesn't seem to care. They'll run right through it. And I guess
there's
S4
not much
was
else
the
you
only
can
one
do,
who's
right?
popped.
You can use this for posturing, and you could potentially try to go for Roche because you have amp. They're gonna just amp the boar though, so they can see it.
Yep. They'll
But
be able to drop
it's
a
a good
ward
play
here at
from
the
Q.
side shop. Yep, he's hanging around bottom lane, and we'll be able to kind of be the blanket here for Burning, who's farming through the bottom. I believe last game he was able to farm up into a Blink Dagger, so possibly looking to do the same here on his Rubik. Still a lot of good stuff to steal in this one, so looking to be able to get in the best position possible to do so. Got to get out there fast, though. Ana's en route. Okay, Ana blinks in, but Burning did not rush back, so he was able to TP out safely. So things are going to be stalled out a little bit longer here. As Roche is up, I'm sure both teams will have their eyes on it here, but iG are going to be taking the first initiative, it looks like, all the way to this bottom lane. A good fight here could lead to a successful high ground push, maybe a buyback or so, and then they could always double back to that Roche and get it there.
Yeah, this is tricky. I think both teams recognize there's probably going to be an engagement before Roshan is allowed to happen.
Mm-hmm. Jarrett's has a Blink Dagger now. Ooh. Quickly blink back and out as Q was making his approach, but they'll kind of stay their separate ways, it would appear. iG have been able to kind of take over the OG jungle, and it's very dark and scary, so OG are just going to keep their presence up here towards the mid lane and towards the
I think IG actually pushed faster than OG. I'm actually almost certain they do. They're going to be forced back, yeah.
Alacrity and Beastmaster certainly can make an argument for that.
Dragon Tail.
Up in Crush, Nuke, and that's a quick and dead paparazzi jug. Looks like Jarrett's was jumping in, but he gets quickly taken apart too. A 1-for-1 trade. Burning going to be going down. OG on the roll forward here, quickly claiming the lives of two, and they're not done yet. And July goes down just as fast, man. With that ridiculous amplified damage, he really doesn't stand a chance. Ana claims a triple kill. Q here, one of the lone survivors along with Sakata, who was not even really involved, as he sent himself back up to the top lane. OG now recognized the opportunity to move into the pit and duke it out with Roche, where S4 obviously is going to help things out with the help of that amp damage. They should be able to take it out nice and fast. Man, that crush landing was so unfortunate for Paparazzi. Like, if he gets spin off, there's no way he dies. But he got crushed because he wasn't expecting to blink in. And then there was another blink in the Dragon Tail. And when he was amped, like under the tower and no Manta style, he just had... There was no way he was getting out at that point. And Sakata just like instantly kicked it out. He's like, screw this. This fight's over. My Juggernaut's dead. I'm out. And that is definitely the right call in that situation. But yeah, Roche going the way of OG. I mean, was it the right call to make from iG.V? Just you know, they were rummaging through OG's woods, and then I don't know if they just kind of settled on the idea for pushing, but they decided,
pushing was
let's
correct.
just push.
Pushing was definitely correct because they push way faster than OG.
Yeah,
like way faster. So in that situation, you're forcing the enemy team to come to you, and that's what you want. You want OG to use all their teleport scrolls and go back to base because then you can. Oh yeah, that's a dead guy. But you can force them to move the way you want them to. That's always ideal in a Dota game. The problem was the execution of the push. Paparazzi getting caught out by a stun. That's what ended up being unfortunate for them because they don't have any defensive measures for a blink stun, right? There's no glimmers, there's no force staffs or anything like that. It's just if you get stunned, you're dead. So that's just the nature of their lineup currently.
And S4 want to recognize and take advantage of those opportunities when opponents maybe just kind of, I don't know if they're shaking up for a moment or picking their nose for that moment, but he seems to find that window where he can jump in and make that kind of an impact here, and does it already in this game number 3. In July, hanging out near the side shop, and speaking of the devil, it's S4 who shows up with that crush, hit with a nuke and a couple of waves, and that is quick work by No Tail. Man, butterfly in hand. And, you know, obviously always in hand with Fly. If Fly ever gets off that Soul Catcher appropriately, like this Luna just does utter destruction to anything in her wake.
Yeah, amp plus Soul Catcher? Ouch. That's big ouch. Doesn't matter how farmed you get, you can die with those two abilities on the other team. In the meantime, Paparazzi did expend his Omni Slash. He tried to go for a solo kill on a Jerax. Jerax just rolled away. Omni didn't follow. Pretty unfortunate. Now with no Omni, they're just diving the base.
Yes, they are. On a way deep back and behind, looking to go for BGod himself. The burning, the Emperor one is out. And with that, the tier 3 set to fall too. Glyph is going to be committed here, but OG feeling pretty damn good about walking away from this best of 3 and towards the top seed. Sakata crushed. He's gone too. Going to be forced into buyback here on his Invoker. These racks are gone, and the game could quickly fold within itself because of it. Back at mid lane, Paparazzi frantic to try to split push a bit or cup the creep camp, but it hasn't stopped OG. Tier 3 mid lane also going to be going down in this one, and could be hit before you know it. Paparazzi, though, persistent, man. Does not want to double back. And it looks like OG are going to finish there, and iG recognize they have no opportunity to make it, and that will do it. GG is called, and OG will walk away with the win.
Man, even for minute 1, it seemed like OG just had it this game. You know, it's really weird to see a game that's 3 stomps in a row. It's like OG stomped, then iG stomped, then OG stomped again. It's really bizarre, actually, especially considering the games that we saw yesterday between Wings and Warriors Gaming, where every game was like 60 minutes and they were just battling 24/7. But I think that OG in the second game, they had a pretty big draft flaw that iG exploited very well. Then in the third game, they kind of tried to do something similar, and OG just adapted. I think when you have such great success with a specific type of lineup, you need to be very careful not to let that get to your head, because I think that iG kind of fell a bit victim to that in the third game, where they're like, oh man, we just owned with this, let's just do it again.